It's been 5 days since a mining pit collapsed in a village in Niger State. Several people remain trapped in the rubble with hopes for a rescue dwindling. Rescue workers have recovered several dead bodies from the site. The Minister of Solid Minerals, Dele Alake, has visited some victims at a hospital in Niger State capital Minera. He announced a donation of 50 million naira to assist the patients and their families. In a visit to the governor, Umar Bago, Alake reaffirmed the federal government's commitment to enforcing insurance policy for mine workers in Nigeria. He said that all efforts must be made to rescue those still trapped.
We want miners to ensure that enough efficient and accurate study of the topography of the soil where they want to mine is done properly. There is an EIA, which is an environmental impact assessment, that is compulsory that all applicants must do before approval. But these EIAs are shared between or supervised by the Ministry of Environment. That's the Federal Ministry of Environment. And then the Ministry of Solid Minerals is informed that this had been done. We are going to rejig that arrangement such that Solid Minerals officials would also be on the spot to ensure or validate the accuracy of whatever information that is supplied via the EIA submitted. But sometimes humanity cannot avoid disasters, natural disasters. What we seek to do is to ensure that even when such disasters occur, the impact is reduced to the barest minimum.
Let me start by, on behalf of Niger State and Nigerites, thank Mr. President for this condolence visit. It is timely and we really appreciate it deeply. And Minister, let me thank you for reiterating the point of non-issuance of further licenses until due process are followed. There is need for a concerted effort to make all miners with licenses relate with the communities where these mines are. Relate with the local government where these mines are. Relate with the emirate system where these mines are. And relate with the state government. Because if you know the site where this happened, no rescue mission outside the chopper and probably people who live in that mountainous area will be able to reach there immediately. So let me thank the people of the Emirate for their quick response to rescue who they could rescue, and the local government, and even the people of the security forces.
Right. With us in the studio is Timothy Iwuagwu, who is the national president of the Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria. I doubt very much if many Nigerians are aware there's such an institute. Thank you so much for joining us on News Night. Yes, I mean, the incident in Niger State does raise a lot of questions as to readiness and emergency management and capacity to meet, such incidents when they do happen. Paint a picture for us about our safety and emergency response in Nigeria.
Thank you, and good evening.
Good evening, you're welcome.
We are all disturbed by this news since Monday, the 3rd of this month of June. Preparedness makes the difference. Accidents are a thing of everyday life. They are caused by human factors. They could also be caused by situational and environmental factors. But contingency requires that certain provisions are made. When you are drilling or mining in such terrain, it's so rocky, and then the rains are coming, the texture of the soil is affected, shifting soil and sinking sands can lead to heavy rocks pressing down. Some sort of shaft drilling should be supported by some level of structure, But the question now is, are they legitimate miners? Do they have the capacity to put these safety measures in place? What are they actually mining? Because I can see we are all maybe shying away from mentioning what they are mining. What I know, that place is from this Federal Capital Territory now, it is close to 200 or 100 and something kilometers, and rescue operations has not been so easy. And I appreciate the Niger State Emergency Response Team. But then, preparedness, like I said, what are the measures these people are supposed to put in place? And who are they? Because when we talk of accidents and rescue operations like this, a good number of Nigerians are buried underground. By the very nature of this work, some ways of supplying air to the pits are supposed to be there. Now, the Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria is established by an act of the National Assembly to regulate safety management in both the public and private sectors of the economy. Right. Now, some of these operators hardly come up to seek for the due process. The Institute is not there to indict, but to help identify those gaps and ensure that they are met with. And you see where they dodge away from the Institute, they go about doing it, and look at what is going on now. Up to 20 or 14 Nigerian citizens, or whoever they are human beings, they are trapped under the earth. Now, nothing is said. Everything is vaguely presented.
Right. Let me come in here, because for the safety professionals, we see a lot that they're doing in different sectors, the oil and gas specifically, the power industry is another one. How much of an involvement does the mining industry have with the safety professionals?
Now, the mining industry, except where we have a safety officer in such company, because some of these companies don't even have a safety officer. The law says it is an offense for anybody to operate under the title safety professional if he is not registered by the Institute. And for you to be registered by the Institute, you go through the requisite training modules, and then you come to be inducted into the membership, and then you continue on and continue. It's a continuous development issue. But where companies will tell you that it is cheaper to die by their action, it is cheaper to die than to stay alive.
In other words, you don't have mining companies on your list just the way we've seen. Because look at the oil industry, they calculate man hours, and they celebrate, incident-free man hours as they go. But do you have the same culture around Nigeria's mining sector?
We don't.
Because it's something, that is why, Ngozi started by saying that a lot of people may not know, but we know that you're there. Yeah. That's why we reached out. Exactly. Because the mining sector, as we speak, till this moment, no one has said anything about the manifest. Whether they also have a muster point to count those who were there is another thing that we're still yet to put our fingers on.
Nobody can tell us in categorical terms how many people are actually trapped. It's all speculations. Yeah. Now, people are there, under there. And the question is, if you look at just the pictures available to the public, there's no provision. We can't see any arrangement that could handle an emergency. Because, like I said, accidents are a thing of everyday life. They are avoidable, like this one is entirely avoidable.
Yeah.
A whole lot of things could have been put in place. Understanding that we have entered the rainy season, the soil slides, and then as it allows water to permeate through its strata, it's weakening the base. And then we have heavy rocks, stones in that environment. So the weight, as soon as water permeates, the weight of these stones will start telling.
So as a regulator, in a typical mine, whether in Niger State, Nasarawa, wherever you find mining activities going on, whether legal or illegal for that matter, what are the regulatory requirements that, what are those things that must be in place if a mining company is to operate in any mine in Nigeria?
Their location must be known.
Right.
The nature of their operation must be made very clear in paper. What provisions they've made in terms of contingency. Because if anybody is going to war and is having the mindset that nobody will die, then that person is a hazard.
Right.
So they going into such operation should have thought of a situation like this. So what are the provisions? We can't see anything.
For this kind of terrain, what kind of contingency plans really should you have, especially in terms of equipment? Because looking at that rescue site, or recovery site if you like, you don't even see any excavators, you don't see any kind of hardware showing that there's any kind of rescue or recovery going on.
From my discussion with some of my colleagues recently, as soon as this thing happened, what we're saying is, we didn't see hoses of air supplying air into that place, because even as people are trapped there, these people can be there for even 20 days and come out alive if certain things are in place. Because all they need now is to be having oxygenated air down there.
Which we haven't seen.
We haven't seen. And so they have not at any time come to us to say, we want to register. Once you mention, look, you need to have a safety officer. Look, you need to call us to come and do compliance evaluation, audit, and they will just thin out. And moreover, a lot of things happening within this enclave of Niger State, because that area is so rich with various minerals. So the issue of illegal mining cannot be ruled out. And then a lot of people doing it. But remember also the insecurity in that area is also going on. Some people started mentioning the labor strike as one of the reasons why rescue could not go. I think that is not tenable. Because is it rescue we're talking about? We're talking about the structures put on the ground in anticipation of this type of calamity.
Okay, as we round off, if we can do this in 30 seconds, do you have a relationship with or partnership with NEMA or SEMA, the State Emergency Management Agency? Does the Institute have that?
Well, the act that established the Institute has also said we should collaborate with relevant agencies of government in regulating safety management in Nigeria. But NEMA and the rest of them, they come in when there is emergency. But we are looking at what should be done proactively to prevent this occurrence. And where it cannot be prevented, it can be minimized.
Absolutely. Right. I think that's a fine place for us to leave it. Team Iwuagwu, National President of the Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria, thanks for your time.